Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Liz if you're new. If you haven't already, make sure you do subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you get notified anytime I upload a video. Long time no see, my usual subscribers. If you follow me on Snapchat, you will know I've had a lot of things going on in the past few weeks. I've just not had time to sit down and physically film a video. But for those of you that have stuck around, for those of you that have checked up on me, thank you so much. I am back to regular videos. As per usual, videos will be uploaded either on Tuesday, Thursday or Sunday. Basically either day I will upload a video from now onwards. So if you click this video, you want to hear my thoughts on the Subculture palette by ABH, which is this palette. So this palette, it has been very controversial over the past week, I would say. Lots of mixed opinions and reviews about this palette. So yeah, I just want to share my opinion, my experience and my review on this palette. Initially when I saw this palette, I can't lie, I wasn't drawn to get it as I was to the MR palette. However, down the line I thought, you know what, I do like my MR palette, so I might as well get this one because I'll be able to, you know, mix up a few looks. So I did get it. If you're wondering what the MR palette, it's the other palette by ABH, is the Modern Renaissance palette, which looks like this. I loved this palette because it had lots of pinks and browns in it, and I'm more of a person that likes pinks, browns, golds, orangey pinks. So for me this was more of a warm neutral palette, which I did pretty much like. So personally with this palette, I've always loved it because the eyeshadows are quite soft. However, I would say I always felt like with this palette personally, there was a lot of fallout. So I expected the Subculture, which is the sister of this palette, to definitely have the same consistency in terms of fallout. Generally speaking, a lot of people like this palette, some people didn't. I happen to be part of the crowd that did. I don't know how I've not stained this palette yet, but you know, thank God I haven't. But I remember how much I was in love with this when I first got this. However, I was late to jump on the bandwagon when I got this, so I didn't ever do a review on it. So initially when I first saw this palette, I personally wasn't in love with it as much because they had quite a few bold colours and I've already messed my palette up. There wasn't that many colours that I felt that I would tend to use. However, as the weeks went by, I just was drawn to getting it. So as you can see, I do have it in my hand. So I did not get this from the ABH website. I got this from Beauty Bay in the UK, which cost me £41, and I actually got next day delivery. If you buy this palette, I guess it's probably over the threshold for you to be eligible for the next day delivery. So I got it literally the next day when I ordered it. With this palette, all the ingredients that you want to know are on the back of the outer packaging. This is cruelty free, but I do not know if it's vegan. I had to double check that and let you guys know if it is. Anyway, all the ingredients are all listed on the back. If you want to know all the ingredients, I'll list them here. I'll take a picture and you guys can see what it looks like. The time or the shelf time for this eyeshadow palette is actually 6 months, which is not a long time. However, I'm one of those people that carries on keeping my makeup past the expiry date, so yeah, I'll definitely probably have this for a year or two and still be rocking it. That's if I don't hit pan quickly. Anyway, these eyeshadows are made in the USA and it comes with the Duo brush, and the Duo brush is made in PRC, which I believe should be China, right? Let me double check that. So PRC, so I was right. Okay, sometimes you have to double check to make sure. So the Duo brush is made in the People's Republic of China. So I want to open up and show you guys what this palette looks like. So it has this velvet feel case, which is identical to the MR palette. However, as you can see, this is a pink and this is a grungy khaki green colour. I'm not good with describing colour, so you guys will know best what you would call this. Open it up. It does come with a mirror on top, which I have pulled off the sticker now. Very good dense mirror. It doesn't feel like those cheap bendy mirrors, and you can see very clear how you look. Anyways, it comes with a Duo brush. On one end is a fluffy brush and on the other end is an eyeshadow brush. Hopefully you guys can see. Personally, I'm one of those people that don't like to use brushes inside makeup palettes, so personally I will not be using this. Anyway, when you open up, these are the eyeshadows that are in the palette. So I just want to describe the colours to you guys so that you can see them properly. So here this looks like a white colour, which I would tend to use in the brow. However, when you swatch this colour, it's actually a pinky colour. The next colour is a beige colour. This is a khaki. This one I would say is a metallic coppery gold colour. Then we have a deep brick or burgundy colour. Here we have like a very deep grey colour. This is definitely a very deep green khaki colour. I'm not sure what you would describe it. This is definitely peach. This is like a metallic-y kind of greenish colour. This is brown. This is a yellowy orange colour, but I would say it's more or less a deep yellow. Then we have this green as well, which is quite rich. Then we have the yellow. Then we have this aubergine / very deep purple colour. So in total we have 14 colours altogether. We have quite a lot of mattes in this eyeshadow palette, which I personally like. I don't like it when it's a palette full of metallics or shimmery colours. When a palette has a lot of mattes or more mattes over metallics, for me it's always a bonus. So I do like that about this palette. You would have heard a lot of people say there is a lot of fallout with this palette. Personally, I agree that there is definitely a lot of fallout with this palette. I was definitely more light-handed with using this palette. One thing I must say is all the eyeshadows in this palette are very pigmented. Honestly, with like one swatch, you can see how intense these colours are. However, I did find it was quite hard to blend some of these colours. Once you apply the colour on a certain point, to blend it out, as most people have suggested or have said, it can get quite tricky or quite stiff. For me personally, these eyeshadows reminded me of loose pigment, in a sense that you want to tap and then press them onto your eyes, and sometimes when you blend them out, it's like you almost lose the intensity of the colours. And that's what I found with a few that I have used. I've not used every colour, however I have swatched every colour for you guys to see what they look like once swatched with my finger. With most eyeshadow palettes, or I would say probably all, the consistency of how it will look when you swatch it with your finger and when you swatch it with your brush are completely different. So I didn't actually swatch these with my brush. These were all finger swatches, so you guys can see how intense they are. You have to be very delicate because this is so intense. With one little whoosh, you could see the amount of products that is on the brush. So if I go deep into it and actually swirl it, a lot of product is literally going to just fall. There is definitely a lot of fallout. So my advice would be, if you use this palette, I would personally say do your eye look first before you do your foundation look, because there's going to be quite a lot of fallout that you will experience. Yeah, I spent £41 on this, so I don't want to hit pan with this, but that little demonstration, you guys can see how much product is on here. As I've said already, I've not used all the colours for an eyeshadow look, so I can't judge every colour. However, for the look that I'm wearing today, if hopefully you guys can see, I did use this colour here, which is New Wave, which took a while for it to show up on my lid. I have really had to build it up for the intensity to show. The next colour that I do remember using was Dawn in my brow bone, which was nice. The fallout with Dawn wasn't as crazy as New Wave. The next colour that I did use in my outermost area was Fudge, and for me Fudge was literally a mess. I feel like Fudge didn't transition on my lid as the same colour as it is in the pan. It ended up looking more black on my eyes, but I did have to blend that out a lot in order for it to somewhat blend in the eyeshadow look that I have today. I also use All Star in my outermost crease to attain this deepy crease colour that I have got. All Star was a bit stubborn, but wasn't as bad as Fudge, so All Star kind of helped to blend that out a bit. New Wave, even though it's quite messy in terms of fallout, it helped tone down the harsh demarcation transition that I had going on in my crease area. For my inner tear duct, I did use Electric, which is, I said, this metallic-y looking greeny colour. The next colour which I did use on my lids if you guys can see, is Adorn. I really like Adorn. I feel like it's a very pretty colour. I'm for bronzy goldy colours, so for me that's something I would go for. Also using my finger instead to pack on the eye colour onto my lid, and that worked out definitely better because it's quite intense. As I said, it picks up a lot of colour when you use your fingers. You have also seen a lot of people say some of the colours don't work together. Once you blend them together, it kind of just turns into a black or ashy colour. So you may want to be careful with experimenting of what colour you're going to use with what colour. Again, you're going to have to educate yourself on what colour goes with what to avoid that. Yeah, I do actually like the colours in this palette more than I did looking at it online. Once it arrived, it looked prettier than it did online. However, I can see why people are disappointed with the palette. This is not a palette I would say I hate. However, this is definitely a palette that I would say I love. I think I like this palette. I don't love it. I don't hate it. But I do like it. I like it because I like the colours. However, I don't feel the colours work together as well. Probably they'll work together if I mix them with the MR palette. I feel like in conjunction with these two, I'll be able to pull off a few looks. We have been told the formula with the Subculture and the MR palette are quite different. In terms of the ingredients, you will see there's a slight difference. However, I'm not too sure if the ABH plan to keep the Subculture this way, or whether they're going to tweak it a little bit with the newer batches that they make. Personally, I would say if you do get this palette, be very light-handed with it. Yeah, I'm just going to show you guys again the intensity of the colours. After one swatch, you see how intense that was. Same with this. You can see how intense the colours are after just one swatch. The intensity is really great though. I would say that, you know, the fallout is very annoying. And I understand why people wouldn't want to spend their hard-earned money on it. But the intensity, I can't lie, is really wow. Yeah. My camera just decided to stop on me for whatever reason. But I literally just swatched the pigments that I just showed you guys on my arms. You can see how intense the colours actually are. I would say I'll give ABH their props on intensity. I tried my hardest to pull a look together. Final thoughts on the ABH palette. For me, delivery was extremely fast. So if you're in the UK, I feel like it works out better if you buy this palette from Beauty Bay, as you won't have to pay for shipping costs. You'll also get it the next day, which is very, very quick. Yeah, and I feel like even if you work it out, it'll just work out cheaper if you just get it here. I feel like I'd give this palette probably like a 5.5 out of 10. I honestly don't hate it. I knew I was going to be in love with it, but I do like it. So for me, this gets a 5.5 out of 10. I was able to kind of work with it, but again, if you're spending your money, you probably don't want to have to try and work with something. You probably just want to be able to let something be as easy as possible. I'm not an expert anyway. I'm just a girl with a camera, just like any of you can be. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the Subculture palette. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Let me know if you enjoyed it, and if you want me to review any other palettes, do leave them in the comment section down below. I'll go and buy it and review it for you guys and let you guys know my thoughts. I definitely have a few other reviews of previous products on my channel, so make sure to check that out. And yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. Let me know your thoughts below. Have you bought this palette? And if you haven't, will you buy it? And if you have bought it, what are your thoughts on this palette? Is it a yay or is it a nay for you? For me, it's in between. I don't hate it and I don't love it. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the Subculture ABH palette. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and yeah, I'll speak to you guys in my next video. Bye guys. So as you guys can see, I have filled in my brows and I have put some concealer on my eyes. The next thing that I always do is I like to use the EYESHADOW eyeshadow base. So I'm going to put that on my eyelids. Anytime I use eyeshadows, I always like to then set it with this IT Cosmetics translucent powder, which looks like this. So if you did see the title of this video, you would have seen I am using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Subculture palette today for this tutorial. These are what the colours look like, and it does come with a brush and a mirror on top. So with an extremely light hand, I am going to use this colour as my transition shade lot. So you have to be very careful, otherwise it's going to go everywhere. Like so. Ooh. Quite a lot of fallout with this, as most people have pointed out. Because of fallout, I'm one of those people that always do my eyeshadow before I do the rest of my face. The eyeshadows in this palette remind me of loose pigments. I do feel like I am losing a bit of colour. It's not what it looks like in the pan, but there is a colour there. So for my brow bone, I'm going to use Dawn. So I'm going to get this colour here. Ooh. Okay, I need to blend this out a lot because I feel like wherever I place the shadow, it definitely sticks. So I'm going to go back with this. I'm going to use that to blend this out so that my brow bone and my transition colour blend in together. So next colour which I'm going to use is Fudge. Again, I'm tapping very lightly this amount that you can see. And I'm going to put that in my crease like so. Whoa. Okay, I think I took too much eyeshadow because this wasn't the look I was going for. Okay, too much of it has got on my lid, which I didn't want, but I'm going to try and make it work. So lightly I'm going to tap that in my crease. Oh no. I don't know, these just look a tad bit ashy, but I'm going to try and make it work. I'm going to lightly darken my crease. It's definitely gone above where I would normally go. I'm going to add All Star, and I want to add that into the crease as well. I do like this Adorn colour. I think it looks very pretty, so I'm going to use that on my lid. So I'm going to dab, dab, dab. Well, that's not really picking up enough product. Let me use it and see. Okay, I feel maybe it's best to use my fingers for this. I'm going to add a bit more of All Star, which again is this reddish colour. I've gone back with New Wave to try and blend that out so that that harsh line of demarcation between the colours isn't there. The transition between shades. A lot of people have said there's definitely a lot of fallout with this. So I have added foundation, I've highlighted, I've contoured, added a bit of blush and highlight. Now I'm going to finish the rest of my eyes and lash. I'm still deciding what colour to go for, but I feel like I'm going to go with this orangey yellow colour. We add that to my bottom lash line. I'm going to add this colour. You can see I'm going to add that in my tear duct. So for eyeliner, I'm going to use this eyeliner by Bare Minerals. So now I'm going to add some lashes off camera. The lashes which I'm using are by Hair Glow.
And that's how I achieved this look. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.